Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Vault. Jersey Joe Archino back here. And a lot of times in life and in sports, we always ask, does this person deserve the benefit of the doubt? Sometimes they do, but a lot of times I think they don't. And clearly, Alex Rodriguez is one of those individuals where I think the benefit of the doubt is never in his favor. He has lied to the media, he has lied to the fans time and time again. And I think when you try to put it all into perspective and you look back at his season in 2015, to me, it raised a lot of questions all along. Now, a lot of people I know he was tested constantly. Nothing ever kind of came out of that. But the other day on ESPN Radio New York, very interesting stuff. Andrew Marchand and Wallace Matthews kind of talking about that, and they kind of posed the question, what if he was on the juice? What if he was using PEDs last season? I'll read you what Marchand said. He said, the other thing that can't be ruled out is how the heck did he do it last year? I mean, 2 hip surgeries, his 40th birthday, and basically 2 years of inactivity, and A-Rod was great for 3/4 of the season. My mom taught me a long time ago, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. That said, maybe A-Rod was doing things on the up and up, but at this point, it would be naive not to at least wonder if he still had some extra help. And I think he hit the nail on the head with that. I mean, again, if it's too good to be true in life and in sports, it generally is. And A-Rod, based on the track record of constant lying, always being ahead of the drug testing, which is what you can't ever forget about. These drug operations are so sophisticated. When we look back at what A-Rod had going on with Biogenesis and this Miami clinic and all this stuff, it's incredible the level of sophistication. The MLB is always trying to catch up and play catch up to the latest trends in performance enhancing drugs. They're always kind of ahead of the curve a little bit. The MLB catches up, and by the time they catch up, they're already on to the next thing that avoids their detecting and things of that nature. So it is very difficult to constantly try to be ahead of the curve in fighting this battle. And you look at A-Rod's numbers from last year, a 250 batting average, 33 home runs, 86 RBIs. That's very hard for you to kind of wrap around it in your head for a guy who's been hurt and a guy who basically hasn't played baseball in almost 2 seasons. I mean, the age, the decline, sitting out, stuff like that is hard. I mean, fans are smart. Don't be stupid. You can look at things rationally as a fan and then say, that doesn't really sit well with me. And this whole A-Rod thing never for a minute sat well with me. This is a guy who disrespected the game of baseball by what he did. He's always, I mean, I've talked to people in the industry who've just said, and I kind of come out and just been clear, A-Rod just he's not a good guy. I think everything about A-Rod has always been staged and phony. He always says the politically correct thing, but underneath all of that, it's always been trying to protect that ego, that image. I mean, he's gone on shows and lied straight to people's faces. You are who you are in life. If you're a pathological liar, that's who you are as a person. That's who you've always been, and that's who you'll always will be. Sure, people can change a little bit, but for the most part, you are who you always are. People don't change that much in life and in sports. A-Rod is who he is, and he always has been, and I don't think that he ever will deserve the benefit of the doubt in this situation. Now, there's no evidence to prove that he used performance-enhancing drugs last season, but I think if you think about things rationally and you look at how you just think about all that stuff, the age, you think about how long it's been since he's played, the decline of him physically, it just doesn't seem very probable. It really does not. It doesn't sit well with me. It never did. I tried to tone it down a little bit last season just because, I didn't enjoy watching the Yankees baseball last season. I cannot get behind a team that has the meaning of the New York Yankees, the history of the New York Yankees, who puts a guy like that out on the field. I think it's a sad day when they make this guy, they trot him out on the field in the pinstripe uniform for all the damage. Again, it's the irreparable harm he's done to the game. It's not just A-Rod, it's Bonds, it's Sosa, it's Palmeiro, it's McGuire, it's all these clowns who use performance-enhancing drugs, but they've damaged the game in a way that it can never fully come back from. That's just the damage of what steroid use has done to the game of baseball, because Baseball, more than any other sport, is built on the numbers. And when you diminish the meaning of those numbers, you do something to the game that it can just never come back from. When you have Barry Bonds name number one on the home run list, when you have A-Rod climbing up that home run list, that stuff, it just means absolutely nothing to me. The game doesn't mean as much to me because when you take away a game that's foundation, its very fabric is built on the history of its numbers, you really do something to the game that can never ever come back from. A-Rod is as much responsible for that as anybody, and if I ever think he deserves the benefit of the doubt, I'll be on here and I'll be the first person to say it, but he doesn't deserve the benefit of our doubt in this situation, and he doesn't deserve the benefit of our doubt moving forward. It'll be very interesting to see how he kind of comes out and starts off things this season, but I think when you look at it, I think for a second he should be suspected of using performance-enhancing drugs last season. Again, even you don't always need proof in life. You just need to be smart. You need to be rational. You need to be looking at the facts. And I've looked at the facts. Clearly, these two writers, who I think are two of the more trusting writers in baseball, have the facts right, and they're speculating correctly. I really don't think you can look at this. I mean, I know there will be disagreement there for some reason. I'll never understand how people flock out. I mean, when I hear the standing ovations for A-Rod, I ask why. What has this man done to deserve your praises? A lot of people going to these games are hardworking people who do things the right way in life. What has this guy done to deserve your support? I just don't understand it. I mean, maybe I'm just wired differently than a lot of other people, but the fact that I'm expected to stand up and cheer for this guy who's lied to my face time and time again and has done all and basically insulted the very uniform and the very fabric of what the game stands for, I just can't get behind that, and I never will. I suspect him in every conceivable way. I'll suspect him in every conceivable way moving forward. Alex Rodriguez is not a good guy. He is not the kind of person that you should look up to as an individual, as a sports, as an athlete, or as an individual. He's rubbed me the wrong way ever from day one, and I have no problem hiding the way I felt. If I walked up to A-Rod in the Yankees locker room, I would have no problem saying the same exact thing. You got to be honest. You got to own your beliefs in sports and in life. Sometimes it could get you into trouble. It could deny you getting access, but you always got to hold on to the person that you are and your beliefs. And for me, I will never hold off from saying what I have to say about a guy like A-Rod, about a guy like McGuire, about a guy like Bonds. They have caused damage to the game that it will never, ever be able to recover from. But to end that note, Jersey Joe Archino here with the Sports Vault. You can follow me on Twitter to hear more of my anti-steroid ramblings at Joe Archino, on Instagram, Jersey_Joe_Archino, and I'll be back next time.